Sidney?
Well, you sure know a lot about me for another asshole hiding behind a voice changer.
Oh, I'm not hiding, Sidney. Not this time.
Hey guys, Sam here with HorrorMom.com, and today I'm here to talk to you about Scream 7 that just came out. I got to go see this film with my 12-year-old son. He has now seen number 5, 6, and 7 with me in the theater. It's kind of our thing, and we just always are in the mood for Ghostface. Don't worry, I am not going to spoil anything for you. I will be very careful. You have no worries. This is spoiler free. Scream 7, we actually get to go and see where Sidney has been living. She is living with her family. She is married to Mark, who is the detective from the end of the 3rd movie. They have 3 daughters. 2 of them are not in the film. They are away at the grandparents' house. Mark is now the chief of the police department in Pine Grove, Indiana. And Sidney actually owns and runs a coffee shop, which I think was pretty fitting. It seems to suit her. One of the things that I did like about this movie is I feel like Sidney was the same old Sidney. When you see how she is with her husband or with her daughter, it all seems very believable. They did a good job with the writing of her. And there's something really cool about getting to see where a character has ended up after all these years. One of the things that I think this movie really focused on was nostalgia, whether it's being in the theater, like Sidney was in Scream 2, or a boyfriend situation, like how we were introduced to Sidney in the first one. There's a lot of things that feel very reminiscent of the early movies. There is also one very brutal death that definitely reminded me of the first film. Hopefully you guys will pick up on that. I'm sure that you will.
This is it.
One of the things I picked up on was they mentioned a movie, The People Under the Stairs, which is one of my favorite old 80s horror movies. I have watched this movie many, many times, and right away I knew why they referenced it, because it is one of Wes Craven's early horror films. And if you've never seen The People Under the Stairs, I highly recommend it. Go check it out. There is a scene where Sidney and her daughter Tatum are inside like the wall of a house, and that really made me think of The People Under the Stairs. There's a lot of scares in this movie. It is your typical Scream movie where you get jump scared a lot. There's intense situations where you know Ghostface is gonna show up. You know Ghostface is gonna move. You know you're gonna see Ghostface popping up from somewhere, and it just makes it so tense. After 7 movies, you know how Ghostface is, and so you can anticipate what's going to happen, and it actually makes it scarier. And I definitely got jump scared several times. I also think that the deaths were pretty brutal. They came up with some new ones, some definitely brutal things. Yeah, there's 2 deaths in particular that are very brutal. One of them is in a bar, and that's all I'm gonna say, and the other one is earlier on, and it's the one that made me think of the first movie, so I think you will pick up on what that is. But they definitely upped the notch of brutality and gore, and it just, you know, they have definitely amped up as the years have gone by. Another thing that made it fun was the Meeks twins were there, Mindy and Chad. I have always loved those 2 characters from 5 and 6, and now they're in 7. I have always loved the twins. I find Mindy to be very funny, and I find Chad to be very lovable. Gail, of course, makes an appearance, but along with Chad and Mindy and Gail being there, I'm gonna kind of go into some of the things that I didn't think were the best in the movie. I didn't feel super connected to a lot of the characters, and I kind of thought about it because I was like, well, why did this happen where it didn't happen in other films? And I kind of wonder if, even though I love Chad and Mindy and I love Gail, but I do feel like those characters took away time from new characters. I don't think that they developed their stories enough. I feel like the comedic parts were given more to Mindy and Chad, and maybe the friends group should have had them. When you think about Scream 4, they had a whole new friend group, and there was a lot of characters that got killed right off in the beginning, a lot of famous characters when they were watching the movie, and then it was within a movie. And those characters, they're very memorable. And one I will mention is Kirby from number 4. When Kirby gets killed, or we thought she got killed, we really liked Kirby. We were very attached to her. Charlie as well. I think Emma Roberts, who played her, did an amazing job, even though she tricked us. And you still had the old characters. You had Dewey and Gail and Sidney in number 4, and yet we still became very attached to the new characters. We felt like we knew them. So it is possible. And I even think that in number 5, I really liked Richie, and Mindy and Chad were new, and Tara and Sam, I really liked them. And you still had Sydney and Gail and Dewey. So it is possible to have a new group of young teenagers or young adults and have older characters and feel for the new ones. And for whatever reason, this movie just didn't give it to me. I did not feel connected to the young cast. And unfortunately, I felt that way about Tatum, Sydney's daughter. I think that we needed more time to get to know her. When we met Sydney in the first movie, she had a backstory, a traumatic situation with her mother, and her boyfriend's kind of pressuring her for sex. And there was a reason why we felt really connected and got to know her. And I just did not feel that way with Tatum. I just wasn't really invested in her. And Tatum in the first one was so memorable and beloved in a funny way, and maybe she just couldn't live up to that name. I'm not sure, but I'd love to know what you guys think about that. Now, moving on from the characters, I am going to bring up one other thing that was not my favorite about this movie. And without spoiling anything, I'm just going to say the big reveal. I didn't really like it. I don't think it was their most creative. I don't think it was a super gotcha like the other reveals have been in the past. I was pretty disappointed. And even my son, being 12 years old, he was kind of like, really? That's what they're going with? Maybe I'll have a different opinion when I rewatch the film, but I would love to hear, without spoiling anything for anybody, what did you think of the reveal? Is it the worst of all 7 films? I hate to say it, but I do think it was. When Billy and Stu were revealed, you're like, oh my gosh. And then when Mrs. Loomis and Mickey, you're like, no way. And even in the third film, when it was her brother and she didn't even know she had a brother, I thought that was all so well done. And 4, boom, and 5. And, then they kind of get weaker. I think 6 was a little out of control. And so this one was kind of like that. It just was kind of like, okay, but I would say it was a notch down from the reveal of 6 as far as the story and do I buy this? But I will definitely say that even with these disappointments, my son and I both really had a fun, exciting ride watching this movie. It was scary, it was brutal, it was Ghostface. You can always count on Ghostface to give you a performance, and he did not disappoint. Ghostface never disappoints me. I loved seeing Sidney back. I was entertained, I was in it, it was fun. So I definitely recommend you go see it if you're a Scream fan, for sure. It's just not as good as the other films, and for some of the reasons I have mentioned is why I think it wasn't as good. For a score, I'm gonna give it a 7.25. I do want to rewatch it, but you guys should definitely go see this one. You should definitely go see it in the theater. You don't want it spoiled for you. You want to have that Scream experience in the theater. The reveal, even though it's not my favorite, you guys may totally see something different, and I'd love to hear about it. If you think that I should do a ranking video on Scream movies, please let me know in the comments. I think that would be really fun. But other than that, other than just saying you should go see it, enjoy it, I hope you have fun. And yeah, that's all from me today, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
Down to the end.
This is gonna be fun.